Hello and welcome to another edition of Crypto Novice, where a novice can become a master in this world of cryptocurrency. Again, my name is Chris Brown and I'm your host for this evening's video. And we've got a lot to talk about. As the title suggests here, gold and Bitcoin tumble while the stock market shoots up due to the COVID-19 news that came up by Pfitzer. So let's kind of jump in to the details and see exactly kind of what happened here. What you're looking at right now is the TradingView price chart. I've got clicked on here, the Dow Jones average. We can kind of see, and this is the 5-minute chart. We can see very specifically kind of what happened first thing this morning when the stock market opened. Right here, the Dow Jones started at 28.3 and change and shot all the way up to 29.9. Its candlestick at 29.930. For most of the day, it traded horizontally, and then it kind of finished out here below the 50 EMA, which is the line at 29. This is 29.2. And so that, it was a fantastic day due to the good news that Pfizer was getting some good results from their clinical trials. I believe they're in stage 3. Dow Jones wasn't the only one. You can see the here. If I take this, this is the S&P 500. If you take this to the, let's go 30-minute chart. Again, you can kind of see what happened. At the beginning of the morning, it was kind of trailing here at about 3,500, a little over 3,550. And then it shot up at about 3:30 in the morning, right when the stock market shot up itself, and it shot up all the way to 36.74. It kind of came down as well and finished off underneath the 50 EMA at 35.54. So it kind of finished where it ended up starting for the day, but it, obviously it got excited. And then here's the Nasdaq. They let's see what time. Here's the chart. This is a 30-minute chart. Again, it started off at around 12,000, shot up to a little over 12,002, and then it finished off kind of right at the 50 EMA as well at 11.9. So in contrast, what happened with Bitcoin? Let's take a look at its chart. So here's Bitcoin's chart on the 30-minute. Again, right here on the 9th, yesterday Bitcoin was finishing off at around 15,300. 328 is what we're looking at right here. And then when the news came out, and again, it started to climb a little bit. It shot up at 330 like everybody else did, and it shot all the way up to 15,800, a little over 800. But then it immediately took a reversal and came all the way down to about 14,823. So it lost about about $1,000 in about a 4-hour period of time, because this shot up here happened at around 3:30 in the morning, and then it finished here at around 7:30. It regained its position. It came all the way back up to 15,380, and then it oscillated around the 50 EMA for the entire day, and that's pretty much where it's at this point in time. So let's jump into a few articles and kind of take a closer look as to what exactly kind of happened, and Bitcoin's response, and then how the markets are responding to Bitcoin's price reaction to it as well, and what might have caused it. So, this is one of my favorite news channels, which is News BTC. As you can see by the article, it says how the vaccine news might change Bitcoin's attractiveness to institutions. And I like how it says it might change. It's only at this point, it's only speculation, but it is a concern. So basically, the article starts off talking about how most people were really excited about the positive news that Pfizer had come out with. And for obviously for good reason. It gives a little bit of history in this country and the stock market's reactions to various pandemics. It talks about in the 1920s when the Spanish flu broke out, in the 1918s, again, how it impacted the stock market in a negative way. So obviously, the opposite is true. If you have good news, then you're going to have good reactions from the stocks. So let's take a close look at what this could mean. So this is really kind of the meat of it right in through here on these two paragraphs. You know, here's the sentiment. While that it might be difficult to imagine, as soon as the vaccine news broke out, the stock market immediately shot to an all-time high. Even the Dow Jones, which lacked a higher high since the Black Thursday, finally surged and found a new peak. At the same time, Bitcoin suffered one of the largest single candle sell-offs in the 6-hour time frame on the BTC chart. The sell-off coincided at the exact same time that the stocks rose, suggesting that the move could have been institutionally driven. And that does make some sense. I mean, Bitcoin now, the market has a lot of institutional money. And what essentially did happen, if for those of you that remember, back when the pandemic first hit and the stock market, fell 10,000 points plus minus, there was a lot of, scramble as to, okay, where do I now place my money? And so there was the shift towards the traditional, and that's, metals. It would, so there's a lot of money that shifted towards gold and silver. And then because Bitcoin has been seen as digital gold, there was a lot of shift into Bitcoin as well, as a way to hedge against inflation. So right now, people are wondering, with the change that just occurred, do we still stay in this space? Here on Telegraph is a little bit better explanation. It says Bitcoin fell sharply in price this morning as the pharmaceutical company Pfitzer, in collaboration with biotech, announced a breakthrough in the COVID-19 vaccine. It's again here, it says Bitcoin fell approximately $1,000, over 6% from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. UTC today. And as I mentioned before, that price was 15.8 to about 14.8 on the TradingView site that we just took a look at. So here's a little bit more detail as to what Pfizer's announcement is that they basically were making a claim that this COVID-19 vaccine had shown a roughly 90% effective. The company said that their numbers came after testing about a little over 43,000 people. The vaccine, however, still awaits final approval from the FDA. And there still is more testing to be done. But obviously it's positive news. What it did to the S&P 500 is that price increase we took a look at was about 4%, where it does mention here in reverse, gold and silver actually fell about that amount as well. In this paragraph, it talks about, it says, in addition, look at this one right here. And I saw this. It says, in addition to gold and BTC, a number of businesses that posed notable gains during the pandemic lockdowns saw their company valuations fall today. Video conferencing platform Zoom watched its stocks decline by 9%, while Netflix fell almost 10%, and even Amazon dropped 5%. Again, I'm not too sure. It's kind of interesting that they fell. I don't know if it's really related to the vaccine, but you have to look at the coincidence, right? So here's an article on SoMag News, which I've not heard of before. But this one, again, kind of explains the same basic thing. The price where it shot up to 15.8 and then dropped down. This talks a little bit about how Pfizer's stocks rose about 7%. BioNTech went up about 11%. Charts showing the same. This part is good. According to Bloomberg News, the corona vaccine has been tested on, this says 94 patients. The other one was 43,000 who have gotten this virus so far. The companies plan to test the vaccine on 164 patients in total, having a positive result from this process. There was further areas down here talks about when they expect to do the next phase. Here it is. It says it's not known whether the vaccine developed in partnership with Pfizer and BioNTech is effective enough to prevent hospital cases, but obviously everyone's hopeful that it is. According to Stat News, Pfizer has announced that it will be able to produce about 50 million doses of the vaccine by the end of the year and increase this to about 1.3 billion for next year. So there you have it. I mean, that's essentially it for tonight. If this information was valuable to you, by all means, I'd love for you to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll be definitely doing more news. It's going to be an interesting week for Bitcoin. Again, the second week of November tends to be a week where Bitcoin does retrace, and there is an article that is alluding to that potential. Let me see if I can find it. This is real quick. I'm going to do some more videos on this later on in the week as we get closer to Friday, because I think, again, the 13th, 14th, and 15th are kind of key days looking at Bitcoin's price history in the past. But this article right here that came out, this is on, again, News BTC, and this came out just 2 hours ago. So this is relatively recent. Bitcoin's price is struggling to settle above 15.5 and 15.6 against the US dollar. Bitcoin is showing a few bearish signs below the 15.5 and 15.6 level. Right now it's holding at 15.3. The price is currently trading below 15.4 on the 1 hourly simple moving average. This is a key connecting bullish trend line forming with support near 15,000. The pair could start a sharp downward correction if it continues to face resistance at 15.5. Interesting. Bitcoin price is facing hurdles. Let's take a look what those hurdles might be. There was an increase in selling pressure on Bitcoin price from the 15.8 zone. Bitcoin declined over 500 to even spike. It went down to 14.8. There was a price break above 15.1. Okay, so I mean, it's saying kind of the same thing again. Okay, now it looks at the price traded above the 23.6 Fibonacci retracement level. And remember, earlier in another video, I talked about the 0.38. I didn't think it would go below that, but that's definitely a testing point. Wow, a lot of activity. So a lot of good. This is going to be an exciting week for Bitcoin. Again, hope you liked this information. Would love to have you be a part of the community. So hit the subscribe button. And if you like the video, please like it, because that always helps. It helped me develop the channel. And again, this is Crypto Novice. My name is Chris Brown, and I will look forward to seeing you on the next episode.